to another episode of Keeping It Real with Kent. We are going to talk today a little bit about the statistics and what happened in 2021 in the real estate business in Ellis County, our lovely home county. We'll start out this week with Waxahachie and Midlothian. They are the two biggest towns in our county, so we're going to start there. We'll do a series on this, and we'll get through everybody's location before we're done. So I'm going to get right into it, and we're going to go over some statistics I think you'll find interesting. So starting number one here, we're going to go into the sales price. So median sales price is just a term that real estate people use to talk about, basically it's the same as average sales price. So this is the average sales price. So we look at the entire county. If you see the graphic in blue there, the bar graph in blue, you can see that the entire county's average sales price was about $339,000. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. I can remember when it was well below 200,000, and so that's an interesting statistic. That means our property is going up in value. It also means our taxes are going up. So those two things kind of go hand in hand, but it's a good thing. That means anything that you purchased over the past few years has increased in values tremendously. So let's keep that in mind as we move forward. Then you go into Midlothian. So Midlothian, and this is a school district. These are all school district statistics. So going to the school district, the average sales price in the Midlothian school district is $390,000. That's just out of control, crazy. I can't believe that we're there, but we are. So that's an interesting stat. That's something to know. If you live in Midlothian, the value of your property in most cases, if you've been in it for more than 10 years, is like really gone through the roof. So I think you've noticed that when you start seeing your taxes come in. So keep that in mind as we go forward. Next is Waxahachie. So Waxahachie's done really, really well. They've moved up to $340,000 as their average sales price, which is outstanding. They cover a little bit more geographical area than Midlothian, so that makes it a little bigger. So there's a little bit difference in the sales price, but not a ton. And then I threw Mansfield in here just because it's at the the western edge in the northern part of Ellis County, and we got a lot of people that actually are in the Mansfield school district, or Mansfield populace that's in the Midlothian school district. So we're going to keep that one in here, and it is also at $390,000. So pretty interesting statistics there. It's worth understanding. So next thing let's take a quick look at here is the statistics of what is the median original sales price. So this is important to us. This is telling us that in Ellis County, the blue bar graph is telling us that it's at 100%. So if you listed the property properly, if your real estate agent came in and helped you list the property at the right price, you're getting full price for that property. And actually a tiny bit over in the entire county. Same thing with the red bar graph, which has been loaded. It's at 100%, 0.9, so that's a little bit over the original sales price. So these things are coming and they're going pretty fast, and they're selling at the amount that they should be selling at. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, that doesn't mean that you can price it $5,000 or $10,000 over what it should be priced for. You have to still price things at the price they belong at. That way they make appraisal, the loans go through, things like that. There is some cash money coming into Ellis County right now, but not as much as everybody believes. Not every deal is coming in on the cash deal. So don't let somebody confuse you or mislead you on that. That is not how it's working. So you still got to do things in the manner that allow the system to work, and the system is people need to get loans for properties. They don't have an additional $390,000 laying around just to hand off to you. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. All right, then we go to Waxahachie. Waxahachie's 100% with just a little over, and same thing with Mansfield. So original sales price, if you're pricing these things right, and this statistic tells me that our agents in Ellis County are doing a pretty good job of that, keeping things where they belong and where they should be. So keep that in mind, keep it going. So we're going to take a little break here and let you hear from one of our sponsors.
Hey, I'm Haley Bush-Kurth with the Better Together Realty Group. We are powered by EXP, and we are your local experts. We are right here in Ellis County. Our office is in Midlothian, and we are here to serve you with all of your real estate needs. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or maybe an empty nester or anywhere in between, we can help you with the purchase and the sale of any property. And we also help investors grow their portfolios as well as manage their properties for them. So we are truly full service real estate right here in Ellis County. We would love to help serve you or anyone that you know reach their home goals. You can reach my whole team at 972-246-8297. You can call or text that number. You can always email us at team@bettertogetherrg.com, or you can stop by our office right here in Midlothian.
All right, so we're back. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the price per square foot. So this is a big deal, right? So price per square foot is kind of what dictates, how much that house is worth, and what does it mean when you're looking at a house. You can walk in if you know that the average sales price in Ellis County, which again is our blue bar graph, you look at that and you know that's $159 a foot. If you know the size of that house, all you have to do is the math, and you can kind of come up with the price that you're looking for, right? So it's pretty simple. It's not exact because there are amenities that change things, upgraded countertops, things that have been updated in the home, new wood floors versus old carpet, things like that, kind of change it a little bit. But as an average, we're hitting about $159 a foot in the entire county. So that's a pretty good thing. And then you step into Midlothian and you can see the red bar graph again tells us that we're at $168 a foot here in Midlothian. Waxahachie, the green bar graph goes in and tells us that we're at 161, so that's really good. That's right there close, and you go back to the median sales price and see that that's what it said we were going to do and where we're going to be. And then we can go into, Mansfield, which, I threw that in there just for the heck of it, and that is at 154. So we're really, really, really close in those average sales prices around here. So that's a good thing. It's not something you worry a whole lot about, but it's something you need to know, especially if you're in the market and you're looking and you go, okay, I want a 3,000 square foot house because of the needs of my family. We need that much square footage. You can kind of come up with an idea what it's going to cost you to purchase that home. The sales price is going to be there. So it's a neat stat to use. I like to throw it in there. I think it's one that people don't use enough. We tend to do things where you have to look around and average comps together, and that's really what you want to do to get a good price on a home. But this is just a good rule of thumb. When you're running around out there, you'll know where you are and what it stands for. All right, now this is the number of houses that closed in Ellis County. Now what you got to remember about these statistics, these are only things that are in our local MLS, so multiple listing service that's provided to us by the Realtor Association. All right. So what that means is this, is that a lot of the new builds that were put in, the ones that they've just broken ground on, a lot of times builders don't put things into the MLS. So those statistics are not in here. So the exact number's not exactly right. I'm going to actually meet with the city of Midlothian next week and talk to them a little bit about, how many they have actually allotted this year for new builds, so they kind of go in and decide how many new build permits they're going to give each year, and then so I'll find out for you for next week, how many new build permits are coming out of Midlothian, Waxahachie, and the surrounding areas, and how many certificates of occupancy. So once they finish a home, they have to get what they call a certificate of occupancy to allow people to move in. That's the final inspection by the city that says this house is built to the standards that we have here in Midlothian, Waxahachie, the different areas, and that it is up to par and is livable. And then they give them a certificate of occupancy, and that's what we want to count. How many certificate of occupancies did they give in 2021? So big deal. We'll look at it as we move forward, but you can see that just by MLS in Ellis County there was 3,278 houses sold. So that's a cool thing to know. We need to know that. Midlothian, we're showing about 833. Now that again, not including new builds, because there's probably another 400 or better of those done at the same time, maybe even more. Same with Waxahachie, 1,200, and Mansfield, 1,225. So those numbers are important to us. We'll look at them. We'll keep them in mind. It just shows the growth in the county, and again, we'll come back with a little different statistic that gives you a better understanding that includes all the new construction, because everybody knows everywhere you drive there's new construction going on everything that we do. So from there, we're going to move on to the next one, and with that being said, let's take another second here to hear from one of our lovely sponsors.
Caitlin Bush with Mid-America Mortgage Southwest here in Midlothian. Whether you are purchasing a home or refinancing, we are here to help you every step of the way. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or you've done the purchasing process multiple times before, we treat our customers like family here at Mid-America Mortgage Southwest, and we will walk you through every step of the way to make this transaction as smooth as possible. You can reach me at 214-598-7839 or send an email to kbush@mamsw.com.
All right, so this is a really, really interesting statistic for a consumer. Okay, this is what you need to know, is how many houses are there actually in the inventory. So what that means is this is the number of houses that are listed right now today when I pulled these stats. Okay, so in Ellis County right now, there's 353 homes listed. Okay. In Midlothian, there's 103. In Waxahachie, there's 113, and in Mansfield, there's 130. So that seems like a lot. It's really not, guys. And that includes everything. It includes this. Not only includes homes, but it includes lots. It includes anything that might have a for sale sign on it. So really, houses to purchase is probably about half that number. If you look at it, maybe even a little less. So don't mislead yourself, because I'm about to show you another statistic that's really interesting, and that's the months of inventory. But this is just an interesting thing to see. How many houses out there are actually up for sale? And are people putting their house on the market? And the answer is not really. So here's the monthly inventory supply, which this is a stat that realtors and people looking at how the market's going to trend and where is the interest rate's going to go. This is a very, very critical statistic to real estate, and this is one that you got to watch. So right here, what we're saying is, with our blue bar graph that shows us the entire Ellis County, that means we have 1.3 months worth of inventory. It's not even 2 full months, not even 1.5 full months, just a little over a month's inventory. Okay, so what does that mean to us? Well, what that means to us is that we are in a tremendous seller's market. So if you're a seller and you're ready to sell that home, now's the time to do it. Okay, that's where you're going to get that. We'll go back to that original statistic where we were talking about 100% of the sales price. This is why. There's no choices out there. All right, so that's part of the issue. As a real estate agent and as a realtor, what we want to see is about 6 months inventory. If there's 6 months inventory, that makes a pretty even market. That puts the buyer and seller kind of on a little bit more of an even plane. And it gives you as a buyer a little bit of ability to make some choices, not just to settle for something. And I see that a lot in that right now, is people are just settling, and they're settling for homes that may or may not completely meet their needs. And that's okay for a little while till you get tired of it, but if in 2 years, if you pay top dollar for a home and in 2 years you decide to move on, guys, you're not going to have any equity in that house, right? Because it's going to go up, but it's not going to be enough to make that next step. So you're going to have to come up with cash to make that difference happen for you. So be patient out there, guys. I mean, I know realtors don't want to hear me say that, but as a consumer, you got to be patient when you're looking for homes, and you got to do your best to find a home that really meets the needs that you have for your family. Okay, so keep that in mind. Inventory's low, makes it a seller's market. It's a great big deal. You guys can handle it, but you need to understand it. So if you go in right now as a buyer, understand that you're going to be in a position where you're going to pay top dollar. Okay, even the houses that may need a lot of work are still going for top dollar. So keep that in mind as you're out there shopping and you're working with your realtor. Don't get upset with your realtor. They have no way to control how many houses are on the market. All right, guys. So they're doing the best they can to help you and staying on top of it. So every time somebody comes up and decides to list a house, you get informed. All right. Now, next thing we have is the number of new listings that came in over the year. So we're showing about almost 3,800 in the entire county, about 968 in Midlothian, a little over almost 1,400 in Waxahachie, and almost 1,400 in Mansfield. So that's an interesting statistic, right? There's a lot going on there. That means there are houses out there that came up to list during the year. right? And so not a ton, but still, still pretty good. What we know about them is they all sold. So that's a good thing. So if you're going to list it, you're going to sell it. I mean, it doesn't mean you don't have to do a little work to it to get it prepped to sell, but it is going to sell, all right? And you are going to get 100% of the sales price as long as you list it properly and what the market is bearing at the moment. So new listings, big deal. That's something that we need to pay real close attention to and keep in mind that it is something well worth understanding. And so that's it for our statistics today. So I'm going to shut that down. And I'm going to go right here and just have a little chat with you. So, hey guys, this is a great time to be in the market. So let's make sure that we understand what the market is and what it's about. Take a little time to listen to these videos and you'll learn that this is well worth doing. It is a cold winter day today, so I'm sorry I had my toboggan on, so my hair is a little messed up. I apologize for that. But, with it being said, I wanted you to have the information. So with that, we're going to sign off here and have another great week. I will be back next week with some more great information, and most likely I'll be interviewing somebody next week. So stay tuned, and we will see you then. This is Kent with Keeping It Real, and we are out.